I know Mike Judge is the creator of Silicon Valley. He also created the workplace movie Office Space.
Office Space.
Right. Is Silicon Valley kind of the new Office Space to a certain extent?
It is. I think Office Space was like a very specific, small thing. So he took sort of the culture at an office, and he really put a magnifying glass on it. So it's a very small, it's very focused. Silicon Valley is a huge place.
Yeah.
And the culture there is really huge and really affects our lives in, every single way. Like, you have apps on your phones and you have no idea how they came about. Well, this show sort of shows you how they come about.
Right.
So it sort of is the new Office Space in a way. I hope it is, because Office Space to me is one of the greatest comedies of all time. It's on HBO now. I watch it and I laugh all over again. So I can only hope that Silicon Valley has that kind of impact.
I would imagine you are right on that note. I want to ask you about a particular moment that a lot of people talk about online and kind of throw around in episode 7 in the love department, or sorry, programming department, or both, whichever.
Yeah.
Someone calls you gay for his code.
Yeah, code gay.
Code gay.
Yeah.
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 How did that whole scene come?
Well, I think what happens is, so it's me and Martin Starr, who plays this character called Guilfoyle. We have this rivalry the entire time. And then what happens in this episode is I see this girl, I start flirting with her, and I really like her, but then I see her code, and her code's really, really good. And that's when I really fall for her,
Right.
you know?
The code gets you off.
Yeah, the code, I'm like, oh, this is, I love the code. And then I find out that Martin's the one who'd actually written that code. So that's when he says, you're gay for my code, you're code gay. And then there's a scene where I'm like sort of making out with her, and I'm having trouble performing. And then I see his code on her computer. And then I sort of get a little more aroused, so I guess that's where that comes from.
Well, speaking of arousal,
great segue. Great segue. I can't wait to see what's happening next.
Yeah. Well, you thought we were going to make you cry. We're actually going to make no, I'm kidding. Do you have any fetishes?
Do I have any fetishes?
Yeah, like, is code a fetish of yours?
Not in real life. I barely understand it. I mean, I think my fetish is just a beautiful woman.
Right.
I don't know. I just really love beautiful women.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. Like a woman who's,
So,
attractive.
Are you nerdy in real life, or is it just, something you play often?
I love video games, and I love like sci-fi movies and horror movies and stuff. So I guess people would classify that as nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't program, and I don't, I'm not great with computers, but.
Well, I mean, but that's all just like I feel like that's a cliche. You don't have to be. No, you would have to be deemed a nerd. You would have to be good at computers.
Okay, well then I guess I'm not a nerd. I'm not scared of computers, A lot of people are intimidated by them. I'm not. I can look it up and sort of, if something's wrong with my computer, I can look it up and see what needs to be done. But I think video games is my biggest nerd vice.
A lot of them are friends of ours. We've booked a lot of our guests through texting.
It's very traditional.
Yeah, it's really, we just sort of, are you in town Thursday? And we've really lucked out in that department.